Comcast is delivering extraordinary experiences in live sports through the incredible broadcast and storytelling from NBC, innovative and personalized viewing features on Xfinity and Peacock, and the country's most reliable Wi-Fi. Viewers can enjoy every game-changing play faster and more seamlessly than ever, all on a network built to deliver unforgettable moments as close to live as possible. The ultimate experience for the American sports fan. Learn more at ComcastCorporation.com/sports.
In the squadron, they called him Bullets, but we call him Greg Kelly. Greg Kelly is on the air on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Well, it really does look sweet. Iran declares Strait of Hormuz open, but does impose certain conditions. Well, that's okay. So do we. New signals that U.S.-Iran deal could be reached very soon, possibly this weekend. Folks, whew, that's a relief. That's a relief. When were you most worried about this stuff? The thing I was most worried about was once the blockade happened. Two things, actually. When we started talking about military action on Karg Island, I got nervous. I will say I got nervous. That was something that I did not want to, I don't know, Marines on the ground. That would not have been good. Marines on the ground, 2,000 Marines. It takes a hell of a lot more than 2,000 Marines to get something done, all right? To get something done that's big. I was worried about that. I also was worried about the blockade. I'm a little bit of a worrywart. What can I tell you? When they put the blockade in, you know, our ships are so vulnerable, right? There's a big fat targets. And I talked to some generals. They were concerned as well, but this has been stupendously successful. Obviously, they're not going to let their guard down, but I think it's great. I think it's just a grand slam. After all of these decades, it took Trump to fix the situation with Iran. A problem that came alive, right, became a problem when he was just 32 years old. He was 32 years old during the Iranian Revolution, the Islamic takeover of the secular government in 1979. 32. Not even old enough to be president. And here he is. He is the guy to fix it. Who was president then? Carter came and went. Reagan came and went. Bush came and went. Clinton came and went. Another Bush came and went. Obama came and went. Trump. And not in term one, mind you. Then Biden, and now. It's very interesting, actually. There was a time where President Trump was going to bomb Iran in term one. And, you know, what was really hot on that was John Bolton, the neocon, war-loving John Bolton. Oh, boy, did he want to have a war. Hey, do me a favor. General Holt is standing by. Do whatever we got to do to get General Holt, all right? He's the best. He's the one who predicted this war when it would start, down to the minute. And now that it is ending, it's not officially over, but now that it's about to end, I wonder if he knows to the minute when it's going to end. He told me it was going to start on the Friday night after the close of business on Wall Street. And here we are. So, yeah, pretty soon? Okay. Now, what does this mean geopolitically? Well, we are the biggest dog in the world. We are the biggest superpower. Now, we were, but let's face it, China's been nipping at our heels a little bit, right? And under Joe Biden, remember that disaster in Afghanistan? This almost, it almost erases that impact. That set us back so far. Our credibility, our prestige, we lost it. We lost it. We lost our power. And now it's back. You can't have a defeat like that on your hands. General Blaine Holt, United States Air Force, retired. Sir, a privilege to talk to you, the man who was with us the day the war started. You knew it was going to start. And now that it's ending, maybe you can tell us exactly when it's going to end. I feel like congratulations are in order for the president, for everybody, for you, for me. How do you feel? The troops?
For the world. This is great. This is really wonderful. We're getting to what the president's objectives were, and we're going to find out, I think, in a year or two, looking back, that this is a far better way to handle military affairs than just throwing 300,000 troops at something and $1 trillion, hoping for the best, and it ends up taking 2 decades.
So, what has to be worked out? How close are we? The strait is open. Iran is but we still have the blockade, kinda, I think. Maybe it's going away. Maybe it went away in the last 3 minutes. I don't know. What has to happen now?
Well, we're not going to let them have that money yet. We'll probably keep the blockade up for a few more days at a minimum. And right now, what you're really seeing is the part of the war that we'll call the capitulation phase. The president is going to secure his essentially unconditional surrender. And I think that we're probably going to see more elements of a plurality of Iranians coming in to say, hey, the new Iranian government's going to look a little bit more like this. And there'll be baby steps along that path. But we're probably seeing this being the beginning of the end of what we'll all call the war to finish off the Ayatollah and the mullahs. This is great for the world, and hopefully we can get that fertilizer moving as fast as humanly possible down to Africa.
Now, what about the China angle here? I am some people believe that China's the one that's really kind of accelerating this. They lost a lot of oil because of all of these shenanigans, and they were leaning on Iran to, straighten up and smarten up and end this thing because we got to get back to work. Is that true?
It is true, and think about it this way. They have an awfully awkward meeting coming up in Beijing with President Trump. Would you really want President Trump showing up in Beijing with that kind of leverage when they're trying to hammer out a trade deal? They want this thing to be in a place that's advantageous for them to even have a conversation with President Trump. So I think China absolutely is responding to the tea leaves the way they see them, and they got to have that oil. They've been losing over $400 million a day just in Iranian losses.
Wow.
So this is great, and let's not overlook that great Field General Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, who has between February and now exposed over 7 banks around the world that had been hosting the Shamkhani network to launder all this money for the IRGC, which tells me, look, that money, that spigot, that's turned off. Hezbollah, you're orphaned. Houthis, you're orphaned. He's going to run the and then let's not forget that he put a massive dent in that UK monopoly operation, that racket called Lloyd's of London. They're going to be brought to heel, and so that's going to get to be a NATO issue. You and I have said this before. When he makes a chess move, if it's a good one, he gets about 7 to 10 benefits out of it.
Wow. All right. Hey, wait, going back, you said something about fertilizer going to Africa. What's that all about?
Yeah. So one of the big byproducts of oil and gas production in the Gulf is sulfur and urea. Those are the precursors to two incredibly big things: potash fertilizer, and that has to get to Africa before their planting season is done. And then the other part is urea is part of ammonia. Ammonia is what goes in all the diesel trucks around the world because of these green climate bozos. So in large part, if you want to avoid a famine in Africa and then massive food shortages in Europe in the fall, they've got to get that fertilizer right now.
Okay, well, looks like it's going to be on the way. Hey, can I get you on some completely different topic?
Yeah.
Eric Swalwell and, the allegations, whatever, and I never took him seriously. I was really shocked, actually, for a while that the Democrats were going to allow him to be the nominee of governor, become the next governor. He just doesn't seem like a serious enough person. I think they realize that as well. But I'm a little bit taken aback, to be honest, with the velocity that they removed him, the thinness of the allegations, to be honest. And by that, I mean, there's serious allegations from the woman, but going back 6, there's all kinds of holes and there's all kinds of, look, I didn't like it when they do it to my friends. I also don't like it when they do it to my enemies. You know what I mean? So where are you on that?
There's something else going on here. I think all we got to see out of the Swalwell case is a puzzle piece. Look, he's a vile man, and I say vile not because of sex crimes or stuff like that, and I think that that's vile enough if proven in a court of law. However, Fang Fang was a Chinese spy, and both sides of the aisle let that man remain on the Intelligence Committee with a clearance. which I find ridiculous. If that happened in the military, the equivalent person in the military would be doing 25 years. And so.
But did he know Fang Fang? Fang Fang was an attractive Chinese girl, and he dated her. At a time when Joe Biden was saying, what?
He was told. No, he was told. Didn't stop. He was told. They went to him and said, "There's a very troubling set of relationships this gal has," and they warned him.
Oh boy.
So here's the thing. This is but a puzzle piece in a mosaic of corruption and extortion and blackmail. And I think you're just looking at the snowflake on the tip of the iceberg.
Well, what do you mean by that?
For more.
Well,
what I mean by that is if Swalwell really has a big bunch of problems with all of these women that are coming forward, and if that's being introduced right now, it would seem to me, and I'm not an FBI guy, but it would seem to me that he would know an awful lot about corruption in California from Newsom, Pelosi, Schiff, others, and he might want to be treated much better than the way he's probably going to be treated for these things that he's going to have to face. In other words, when you start to peel back the onion on some of this stuff, everybody starts to want to turn on everybody. And then the state of California couldn't come at a nicer time because Gavin Newsom is trying to create a food problem in our country as he moves the last of the refineries from 7 down to 1 in his own state, which would shut down Los Angeles port. By the way, that's the number one food importer for the United States. And he has been shuttering refineries while nobody's looking. So, hey, it's great to have oil, but if you can't turn it into diesel, it's meaningless. And we're already facing jet fuel. So if these folks are going to be accountable for corruption and fraud, God knows whatever else, burn it down. Burn it down. Let's put the sunlight on it and let's just show it all around and see what's out there.
All right,
but it has to all be proven.
Okay, awesome. You're an experienced pilot, the C-17, many other airplanes. What is the worst mistake you ever made as a pilot?
The worst mistake I ever made as a pilot was exhibiting confidence and trust in a pilot who was supposed to be taking that next step to aircraft commander. And I never, ever should have put the confidence there because I stepped away, went to grab a cup of coffee. Before you know it, we're in a thunderstorm with this jet getting lightning all around us. And I had to jump in and prove that I was a good pilot. And I took care of the whole thing. And there might have been some tears on the other side of the airplane, but we all had a good joke later on, but it nearly got to be a real serious issue. So in other words, keep your head on a swivel, trust people, but verify. And then there was an incident with the T-38 back when I was a young lieutenant. I thought I was 10 feet tall and bulletproof, and God proved with some wind shear that I wasn't. And I made it out of that just fine.
Huh. All right. Not bad. You want to hear mine?
Yes, please go.
Well, I had just become a private pilot, and I really liked flying at night. And I was landing at Westchester Airport, and the tower was down, and I'm like, Cherokee 18 Alpha Victor, and a left downwind for runway 2, left base for runway 2, short final for runway 2. And I get over it, and I'm like on runway 18. It's just the light.
Oh boy!
I only found that out by the runway light. You know what I mean? My landing light on the runway said 18, and for a moment I thought I was at the wrong airport. I just like, what the hell is this? But yeah.
I know a C-17 guy who did that with a C-17. It was the right number on the runway. It was the wrong airport.
Oh boy, did he get in trouble?
Oh yeah.
It's a serious business up there. All right. The story ended fine. Quite frankly, the secret, only 3 people know that secret. Me, you, Mayor Bloomberg. I told Mike Bloomberg for some reason and everybody else listening. All right. Thank you very much, pal. Good stuff.
Thank you. You take care. Have a great weekend.
All right. To be continued. Hey, Turning Point USA is in full swing. Yeah. I never really told that story publicly, but, it was an eye opener, and it's very interesting because when you're flying these uncontrolled airports, there are airports that you can land and not talk to anybody. Nobody's in the traffic control tower. In fact, back then they just all went to bed, but the airfield was still open. So you had to announce to the other aviators in the general area that you were there. Hey, I'm watching the suspected shooter, Tyler Robinson, go into court, and they're sending him into court. This is the Charlie Kirk shooter, in a tank. They deliver him in a tank, in an armored vehicle. Wow. All right, we'll be right back.
Greg Kelly on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Well, this is horrible. Oh, my goodness gracious. This poor woman who got married in England, her big day, someone threw black paint on her as she was walking down the aisle. Beautiful bride. They threw black paint on her. And it was her sister-in-law. Oh, my goodness gracious. I'm looking at her picture right here. She's got black paint. She's wearing a wedding dress. She's so sad because her day was ruined by this black paint. A UK bride was covered in black paint just moments before she walked down the aisle in a shocking revenge attack by her spiteful sister-in-law. Gemma Monk, a 35-year-old mom of two, was walking with her father to her big day in Maidstone, England, when she heard someone call her name, then saw them throw black paint at her. Oh, no. She grabbed her attacker's hair, realizing it was her brother's wife, Antonia Eastwood, 49, who'd been banned from the nuptials over a simmering feud stemming from the sister-in-law's own wedding a year earlier. Shocking photos show the crestfallen bride-to-be with dark, mud-like paint covering the left side of her face and chest and splattered across her white wedding dress. Eastwood fled, but was unable to stop the wedding of the happy couple. Wow, wait, what? Remarkably, Monk was able to compose herself, clean up, and get a second wedding dress and tie the knot just 2 hours later. Wow. We had waited for that day for so long. Nothing was going to stop me, Monk said after her sister-in-law was found guilty of 2 offenses of criminal damage for the attack. I did not think twice. I would have walked down the aisle in my underwear and with black paint over my face if I had to. Monk said she banned Eastwood from the wedding because of a feud that started when her sister-in-law accused her of trying to trip her at her own wedding. The shocking ordeal came after Monk had lost weight over a cancer scare, she said. Eastwood knew of her health struggles, but still decided to ruin the most important day of my life and put me at risk. I hope this lady does hard time in jail. That's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Hey, by the way, speaking of losing weight, you know how much I've lost? Let me see here. 9 pounds, 9.2 pounds in less than a week. It's called Zepbound. Zepbound.
Greg Kelly, entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Well, recapping again this incredible news that the war is essentially over. The strait is open. The blockade will be maintained, possibly just for this weekend. We're on the very, very verge of formal peace. Right now, there's peace breaking out all over the place. The ceasefire in Lebanon holds, and I see great big celebrations over there. That's a beautiful thing. The Houthis seem to be kind of keeping it under control. That's excellent. And we are on the verge of a huge, huge win, and I love it. By the way, on March 1st, I weighed 227 pounds, which is a lot for a guy my size. I'm not even 6 foot tall. And I said, okay, I'm going on a diet, everybody. I'm going on a diet. I will eat right and exercise. And I really tried. I really, really tried. And 6 weeks later, I was 228.8 pounds. I had almost gained 2 pounds on a diet. How do you do that one? And in a fit of a little bit desperation and depression and sorrow and frustration, and my wife was like, Greg, I think it's time for the shot. I've been putting it off. And one time I did take the shot. I took Ozempic. about 9 months ago for a month. I hated it. It made me nauseous all the time. I just felt gross. I felt terrible. I didn't want to eat. I didn't want to do anything. But as I wasn't always nauseous, and as soon as the nausea went away, I'm like, okay, let's eat, because I feel so terrible. I wanted to eat. Anyway, that didn't work. I gained a half a pound in a month. But this thing, I was 220, what the hell was I again? 228.8 on Saturday. What am I today? 219.5. 219.5. That's crazy, right? Now, I do hear, look, some of that was, I was bursting, right? I just had a huge meal. I was, had been binged for 2 days or whatever. So some of it was just going to come off, but still, that number is impressive. And my wife gave me a shot of what they call Zetobound, Zetbound. There are two guys who had recommended it. One a few months ago, Todd Shapiro, he's on it, did wonders for him. I think he needed it more for health reasons than anything else, but he looks great. And then another guy who I ran into, and he said it, wow, yeah, I lost weight. It's easy. It works. You should do it. And I'm like, okay, I'll try it. And here I am. At this rate, I don't know. My target is 180. 180. If I lose, by tomorrow's 1 week, will I have lost 10 pounds by tomorrow? It's quite possible. I don't think that can be sustained, but I'm on the right trajectory here. And I got to admit, no side effects that I can detect. I detected a ton of them, when I was on the Ozempic. It was rough. It was rough. Almost as bad as when I took, the vaccine for COVID. I know I did it. My wife, again, talked me into it. And I think I only got the one dose. Maybe I got two. I got all kinds of dreams, weird dreams, chills, heat spells, just overall weirdness. I so regret it. And I wasn't pushing the vaccine on anybody. What do I know about vaccines? My wife has a science background. She said you should get the vaccine. I got the vaccine. That's my business. That's what our decision was. But when Joe Biden started ordering people in the federal government, that was insane. And that's why we have the Second Amendment. That's never going to happen again. Never. Never. Live free or die, baby. Isn't that what they say, Mike? Hello, Mike. Cut line 2. How are you? 800-848-9222. Is he in? Hey. Never mind. Actually, Fox News right now. Check it out. The Charlie Kirk alleged assassin is in court. He just walked in there. I see him sitting there, with his defense attorney, not wearing a shirt. Pump up the volume, please.
DNA discovery in it, and the next time we get something on DNA is in discovery package number 4. So part of my process has been going through everything as it comes in to sort of sort and get organized the various areas of discovery. And so far we have information coming in on the following areas: autopsy experts, canine deployment, crime scene photographs, DNA, fingerprints, firearms, footwear, laboratory intelligence unit discovery, question documents, state forensics, and trace evidence. So I have set up files for each of those areas. I'm uploading and organizing and reviewing discovery as it comes in each of those areas. We are retaining experts at the point in time when we feel we have enough information so that we're not paying experts to have to duplicate or do discovery review in batches. We're taking on the burden of getting it organized so that we're not spending a lot of expert
Oh, my God. This
resources.
is not exactly Perry Mason, is it? Discovery and all this stuff and the ins and outs. It is. Sometimes you go to these trials, you think it's going to be. And tell me, Mr. Jones, where were you on the evening of the 5th? You know what I mean? It's not like that. It's like this guy.
From the ATF, we just got in the second to the last discovery batch the autopsy photographs. that were produced in September. I think we got those just in March of this year. So those are being reviewed and organized so that we can hire a forensic pathologist.
You know, I don't think that this son of a bitch should have autopsy pictures of Charlie Kirk. That's the defense attorney. So the defense has autopsy pictures. He's going to get to see, basically, he's going to see a dead Charlie Kirk naked on a table. He shouldn't get that. He shouldn't have access to that. That's like looking at his window. Now I want to hear the prosecutor guy. This is the guy who's going to hopefully put a stop to all this nonsense. Go ahead.
The minimal 2 categories of information that I outlined for the court.
Hold on, he's going away.
Expedite that down to approximately 4 months so that they be prepared in that time period.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you, Mr. Burt.
Thank you.
Mr. Novak.
Come on, Novak.
I've been told I used too much of the court's time, but I think I can supplement.
No, I appreciate all the efforts of every party, and I know it's important, and so that time is necessary and needed, so I appreciate hearing from you.
I'm not going to represent that I'm responsible for all of the motions and pleadings that have been filed, but I've really devoted my time to writing, and obviously the court has held many substantive hearings on issues so far. Obviously, everything that we write is a collaboration, but I think that the vast majority of the time that I've devoted to this case has been the legal writing and, frankly, coordinating the mitigation investigation, which I'm not going to talk about beyond saying I speak almost daily with the people involved in our mitigation investigation, reviewing mitigation materials. That's where I'm focused. And obviously that's not part of the prelim. So if
what the hell is a mitigation operation?
Shifting to,
and why the hell did judges wear robes anyway? What's so special about them? You know, the guy's wearing a black nightgown. But what makes why doesn't he wear a wig while he's at it? Remember they used to wear wigs? I don't like it.
They need me to fill in so that we are all constitutionally effective when it comes to the preliminary hearing.
And so if, as it relates to what you are maybe assigned to as it relates to the preliminary hearing, how much time would you need?
I think the estimate of my colleagues of 4 months is appropriate. And I also think that what we are all saying is whatever time our DNA experts need once they see the data that Mr. Burt so eloquently explained to Your Honor, we don't have, that's really going to be the controlling time period.
Man, this is going to be the dullest trial in the world if it sounds like this. This is just the preliminary stuff. Yeah, trials stink. And they're tedious, and now all these lawyers have multiple computer screens, and the discovery. It looks like an open and shut case to me. It looks like an open and shut case to me. Pete, hello, how are you? In Pennsylvania.
All right, I'm doing well.
How can I help?
Well, I know you were talking about your dieting and losing weight, and I wanted to just kind of weigh in a little bit on that. If you
get it! Weigh in. All right. Yeah, please.
I went on a specific type of diet that I did myself. No shots, no drugs, nothing like that. High protein, low fat, portion controls. And I started just before Thanksgiving, actually, like a year and a half, about a year and a half ago or so. And with just under a year, I went from 230 pounds down to 185. And I just found it the healthiest way to do that. And I just kind of figured I'd share my results with you as well as any input I could give you.
Well, I appreciate it, man. Wait, did you say you took injections or no injections?
No injections at all.
Yeah, well, I tried that, and it was a total bust. I gained 2 pounds. You know, diet and exercise, portion control. Yeah, I have a little bit of trouble with the portion. I mean, even now, I just ate about 18 oranges. Conservatively speaking, I just ate 18 oranges. I have a hard time with portion control. I think I got to do this. I think I got to do the shot. I mean, how old are you?
I'm 63.
53 or 63?
63.
Well, congratulations, man. You did it on your own. That's like old fashioned now. I don't know if I could be like you. I'd like to be like you. I'd try to be like you, but I don't think I could. I don't know. Are you bad? Excuse me. Too many oranges. Are you against all these injectables?
I am against drugs in general and injectables, but more than that, I just think the extreme amount of weight losing in a little bit of time, like I think you said you lost about 10 pounds in 1 week, and I found over my experiences in dieting that 2 to 3 pounds a week is what you should be looking to lose over a longer period of time if you want to keep it off.
Well, I'm not going to extremes. I hear you, man. I mean, I can't help it. I just took the shot, and this is where I am. Look, I wish I did it the other way. I tried, and I can't do it. I just can't do it. I mean, if I could I can't do it. I just can't do it. I know. I mean, is there a way? It's just overwhelmingly difficult for me to do it. I'm sick of failing at it. All right. So you're going to cut me some slack, Pete. Okay. I'm going to stick with this shot thing. All right.
I'm not giving you a hard time. I want you to be healthy. That's all.
No. I think you. I take you as encouraging. I do, and I actually just want you to know, I want your blessing in a way that I'm doing the shot. All right.
You got my blessing. You can take it off any way you want.
All right, Pete, thank you very much, and congratulations on what you did, because I've tried and I have failed. And but this thing is really something. It's a if this thing works, Zepbound is a miracle drug, everybody, a miracle drug. Thank you very much. See you later, Pete. With that, we could take a few more phone calls, or just to make sure everything is safe in the world, I will check with Truth Social. I do want to know. No. Everything is okay. Everything is as it was. We're about 1 to 2 days from a peace deal with Iran. One time they kidnapped our people, and they bombed our Marines, and they were desperate for a nuclear weapon. And now they're desperate for a deal. I love it. Congratulations, President Trump. Be right back on this Friday.
Greg Kelly, entertaining and informative
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
So, 56 years ago right now, Apollo 13 was on its way back to Earth after that great big crazy problem in space. Remember, they had an explosion. Houston, we have a problem. Yeah, hit it, Carlos.
This is the crew of Apollo 13. Wishing everybody there a nice evening, and we're just about to close out our inspection of Aquarius and get back for a pleasant evening at Odyssey. Good night.
Actually, it was the end of the workday. We were fixing to go to bed after we did a few things to clean up, and the next morning go into lunar orbit and get ready to land. And then there was a large bang.
When the explosion first occurred, we didn't know what happened.
And that just rang through the metallic structure.
Houston, we've had a problem.
I was in the lunar module, and then I went down into the command module.
We may have had an instrumentation problem, flight. Roger.
And we had a pretty large bang associated with the caution and warning there.
We started to look at the instrument panels. One of the quantity gauges of one of the tanks was 0. That was the tank that had blew. I then looked out the window and saw escaping at a high rate of speed a gaseous oxygen, because the explosion occurred on the damaged tank, but that also ruptured the second tank, just blew the entire side of the spacecraft off.
My immediate feeling was just a sick feeling of pit of my stomach, a disappointment. I knew we had lost the landing.
And from then on, it was not a third landing on the moon, but a survival of how to get home.
Wow, and they got home. You saw the Tom Hanks movie, I once talked to Buzz Aldrin about that, though. He said, the movies about Apollo 13 were bigger than the movies about Apollo 11. There really were no movies about Apollo 11. There were some documentaries, There was a movie called The Last Man that came out a few years ago about Neil Armstrong, his like biopic, but it was a bit of a dud at the box office. Apollo 13, everybody saw that movie. And he's like, hey, man, we actually pulled this off and nobody cares. It's not nice. Hello, Frank in Bayville. Yes, sir.
Greg, good afternoon. I just wanted to pick your brain here. I don't want to go into the moon stuff, but back to the oil here. I heard about 180 ships are coming into the Gulf of America. You know, you said Trump is playing 5D chess. I got a feeling.
I don't use that phrase. I don't use that phrase. I don't like that phrase, but keep going.
Okay, well, yeah, I whatever. Needless to say, you know, he renamed the Gulf of America, Gulf of Mexico into the Gulf of America. Now we're selling oil. If we sell oil that's ours, you and I, the U.S. American taxpayer, are going to get royalties from that oil. And I just learned to get more money from oil that's drilled offshore than you do on land, which is interesting. But maybe this has to do with something about getting rid of the income tax or, you know, whatever incentives they're going to give us. Dividends.
What makes you think that we're going to get money from the sale of oil by domestic oil companies? Why would we get money from that?
Well, because it comes out of our land, and you and I are U.S.
No, I mean, yeah, no, but that land is privately owned.
Okay, well, I mean, you've heard President Trump talk about getting rid of income tax, correct? And we've all kind of wondered how.
No, I haven't heard him talk about that. I don't recall him talking about that. I have, you know, Steve Forbes talks about that. The flat tax, I like that. But I don't see, look, let's face it, that ain't happening, right? We got the big, beautiful bill. There's no income tax going away anytime soon, not in the Trump administration. And, I don't think that we're going to get royalties, from domestic oil production. I unless you own stock in like, you know, Exxon or something like that. Right, Fran? Think about it.
All right.
Sorry to disappoint you. I mean, maybe I'm totally wrong, but that's my read on it. Thank you very much. Anthony, hello.
Yeah, hello. With everything going on against Trump and everything, I feel Trump should go on the attack along with the Republican Party. Number one, October.
He should
7th,
go on the attack. He's on the attack every single day. You think he's been loafing or something? What are you talking about?
No. Well, listen. October 7th. We have never seen it. We're fighting an enemy, and we have to fight them at their level. Why haven't we put October 7th? I want to see it on TV, the internet. Let's show these people just how evil the Iranians are. It's wrong.
Wait a second. Well, all right. I mean, you're all over the place here. What's wrong? I mean, October 7th was wrong. It's horrible, right? And there's a war that's being fought. What are we supposed to do now? I mean, what do you want us to do? What do you want them to do right now?
Right now, I want to see it on TV. I want people to wake up and see exactly how evil they are. You talk about...
All right. Yeah, no, look, I've seen some of the footage myself. It is horrific, right? It's horrific. We've seen terror. I mean, it's on the internet. You're right. Maybe some of this has been whitewashed. Some of this has been underplayed. And maybe it's I played a clip the other day. You're limited in what you can show on regular television, you know. You know that, right? Everybody, oh my gosh, we can't show a dead body. We can't show somebody getting shot. Parental discretion is advised and all that stuff. It's a great big red tape mess sometimes. And sometimes it does shield the truth, and that's not good. Appreciate it. All the best.
Thanks for listening to The Greg Kelly Show. You can hear The Greg Kelly Show weekdays at 12:15 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.